Hi, Nancy with the tool. So I want to read this email. It's from Chris, Jeanette's sister. They're just a year apart, to Jeanette. And it's December 31st, 2006. So that's going to be New Year's Eve. And I want to say that Jeanette read this and thought it was a little off. And then she was telling her Aunt Carol about it. And Aunt Carol was like, you know, your mom is there, right? So she talked to her brother Will, and Will's like, Mom's not that tech savvy to log Chris out, log Chris in. All she had to do was get on Chris's computer and send this. So there was no tech savvy. And where there's a will, there's a way, right? So I just want to preface that. I don't know who wrote this, and Jeanette can't be certain either. But it starts out, Jeanette, I've hesitated emailing you mostly because I don't think there is anything I can say that will help the situation or that won't be taken the wrong way. The way you are handling this is how Grandpa Spriggs would. Bringing him up. He was the one that was ostracized after Jeannie dubbed him crazy. He was saying that, your mom killed your dad, right? To the kids. And all of a sudden, he was the crazy one, and he was isolated. This email goes on to say, when you're paranoid that everyone is out to get you, even small things people say will soon get them on the list of never talk to again. So that soon, you aren't talking to much of anyone who actually cares about you. She goes on about Bruce being in the hospital, the infection from the picked scab that Jeannie did was going through the machine. So now he's only got weeks to live, maybe days. He expressed with a lot of emotion that he doesn't know how he would have gotten along without all the care she, Jeannie, his wife, had given him. If you think about it, she has dedicated every moment to his needs for several years now. If she wanted to kill him, all she had to do was stop doing so much of a good job of taking care of him. But did she have all that figured out? It goes on to say, he's still alive right now, but has been asleep for several days and will probably go into a coma and die soon. So unfortunately, your chance to say goodbye is past. Very nice. The visit from the police last night was a bit hurtful to Mom, but should be embarrassing to you. They were embarrassed and very sorry once they realized the situation and said they were required to come when there are anonymous calls reporting that someone's in danger. Jeanette didn't make that call. Sorry, I'm not the one in denial, and I'm not the one who handles things like Grandpa Spriggs. I didn't call the police on Mom, and I didn't tell anyone that Bruce was in danger. I don't know who made that phone call. Who made that phone call? So this email from Chris, or whoever's writing this email, says, second, I want to talk to you about your private investigator. I talked with the investigator in charge of the case against Mom only once and tried to contact you several times to see what was going on, and you wouldn't answer. I asked him what was going on, and he said that there was a case that was filed by a private investigator and that there were no hard facts or police reports, so there was nothing to act upon. The FBI did take the case. He said the private investigator struck everyone in the office as one of those guys that's trying to play upon the fears of the person who hires them, convincing them that there is something to it, and they need to keep having them investigate so he can keep getting money from them. Which makes me think maybe Jeannie did write this. I don't know. He said a lot of investigators are like that, and he wouldn't even be surprised if that guy hadn't dabbled a little arsenic on the candy just to keep the case going. So there is arsenic, somebody admits. You need to consider this. Why do you still have him? Thank you for sharing the toll. Thanks for listening.